Well, hi. It's been a long time.
Hi, are you talking to me or
Yes,
everyone
I'm
out
talking
there?
to you.
Hi, Jess.
I mean, I guess technically I'm talking to the three people watching this, but we haven't been on ZTV
I
in
know.
months and months.
I know. We took an extended summer hiatus,
I
but it
I
feels good
I
to be
take
back.
I take a little bit of umbrage with that because that leads people to believe that perhaps we were lounging and relaxing with like something like this when in fact we were pretty busy.
Yeah, we've been killing it. Killing it.
So, since we last were together, you have started a new project. How about you tell us a little bit about your latest adventure?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Yes, I started the Project You Collective, which is a coaching program mainly for women. My co-coaches are Rebecca Gregory, who is a survivor of the Boston Marathon bombings and an amputee. She's a professional speaker and an author. And then my sister-in-law, actually, Lauren Buchanan, who is a marketing and branding guru, as we like to refer to her. We all joined forces and developed this coaching program for women who want to branch out into the entrepreneurial space or who would like to maybe start a second career or a first career in the area of professional speaking and writing. And so we have been working really hard to develop this program. We have an on-demand, which you can access at any time, 10 pre-recorded sessions. And then we also have cohorts, like small groups of women that we work with, and those are live. And our next course starts January 3rd. And yeah, it's just been busy, busy, busy.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not the only one who started a new project.
No,
Why don't you
you are
talk about
not.
yours? Yeah.
So, I love podcasting so much that I've just gone ahead and started a second one. I launched a new podcast in October called Neuroversity, which is specifically focused on neurodiversity and elevating voices from the neurodivergent world. And so far, so good. So,
It's so good, by the way. I just have
thank
to
you.
say, it is so good. I'm really enjoying it.
Running two podcasts and a live ZTV collaboration has been fun.
Yeah. It's busy.
And I think that we have learned some of our technical issues, lessons. And this month, instead of trying to do this live, we went ahead and filmed our interview with Willow Wright, who is the owner of Urban Redeux, which is a brand new store in the Hollin Hall Village and south of the Beltway, and we love supporting our local businesses. So you and I took a little trip, and we're going to show that. And then how about I meet you back here after?
Sounds perfect.
Welcome to another episode of We Should Talk About That. I'm Jess Buchanan.
And I'm Jessica Kidwell.
And we're the two Jesses. We're the hosts of the We Should Talk About That podcast. We are coming to you live on location from a super cool place in the Hollin Hall Shopping Center, Urban Redeux, in collaboration with ZTV.
Tonight, in support of the ever popular Susan Fleischman written Below the Beltway section of the Zebra, we are here with Willow Wright. Willow is the owner of Urban Redeux, which is brand new in the Hollin Hall Center, and it features home furnishings mostly, but also some clothes that are funky, vintage, antique, and all fabulous. Willow, thank you so much for agreeing to be with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Always fun to sit down and share my passion project. And excited to be here, and I'm happy to be in the Hollin Hall Shopping Center now.
Yeah, so how long has Urban Redeux been in existence?
We opened our doors in September of 2018. Can think about it for a minute.
What is
2, 3,
time?
4,
Like,
5.
what is time?
I'm thinking it was a 3-year lease over there. So 2018 we opened, and we have been here in this shopping center for about 10 days.
Wow.
So
Wow.
we
New.
just opened the doors a couple weeks ago.
So new to the area, but not new as a entity, as a passion project.
Yes, no, that's been around for a bit.
How did you get involved in this? Why did you
Well,
get
how much time do we have? I will try to keep this story as brief as possible, but I don't have a degree in business. I'm not an antique dealer. I just love a lot of things. And in 2017, my mother had moved to the area. She needed a place to do some art. I was going through some therapy by going through and digging through estate sales and yard sales, and finally had accumulated so many things that my husband said, you cannot have this in the garage any longer. So what are we going to do with it? So my mother and I leased a spot on Cooper Road and decided that we would throw our hat in the entrepreneurial game and kind of see what happened with it. And so 3 years later, here we are.
I love it.
Me too.
I
Love
love
the
a
stories.
meandering story that then ends in a passion project.
We had no idea what was gonna,
Right.
it just was an idea that
yeah,
hatched.
you just start, what do you say, just go?
You just do it and then see what happens along the way.
We
right?
say something very similar.
Yeah.
You just do the next right thing, or
Yeah.
the next best
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and get to it.
So I have an empty glass in front of me, which is sad for many reasons, but one of the things that I love coming into your store and looking at is all of the different kinds of glassware. Now, this is a coupe.
It is.
Which I just learned
Which-
because I didn't know that glasses actually had names.
And what is
So-
normally served in a coupe?
This would be for your champagne, prosecco. This is a hollow stem coupe as well, so they have hollow stems or straight stems. But or you could also do sherbet. I mean,
It's fun to have the
All kinds of
hollow
things.
stem
Fun, right?
with champagne because I imagine the bubbles.
yep,
It's very
get the bubbles
cute.
in there.
So these are adorable. How did they end up in your store? How does everything get here? How do you make the decisions on what you're going to?
What I'm going to bring in.
Yeah.
I think in another life I was supposed to be a designer or a stylist. I never went down that route, but it's always been something I'm interested in. I remember as a little girl reading magazines, architectural magazines, and my favorite part was how they would put the little diagram of the house in it, and you could see the layout of the house. And I was fascinated by these things, and I just love a lot of different styles and designs, and I don't narrow it down to one particular thing when I'm shopping. But I will say that when I find something, let's say, a set of glasses, I already have an idea of who would be using these or what style whose home might be if they were to be the one to pick these glasses up.
Really?
So I really do shop depending on whose house it would go in.
And is it always someone that you already know, or you just imagine this house that this would be perfect in?
Both, actually. Because we live in the wonderful world of Instagram, you can follow so many different personalities and designers and Instagram bloggers and influencers and all the things. So in some circumstances, I might say, oh, this would look beautiful in his or her house. Or I have someone in particular that I know. Oh, my girlfriend lives in a mid-century in Hollin Hills, and this would look great in her house. So but I generally have an idea of where it will end up, or where I hope it will end up. And
Does
I think
it break your heart if it deviates from
well,
Random comes in and is like, you know what? I'm taking this and I'm putting it in a restaurant.
no, because that just means that I like them more because they're the eclectic style, which is what my style is as well. So it can go in any place, but I think that's what helps to have the store be as interesting as people have said it is to them, because it's a mix of so many different things.
Yeah.
And things you've never seen before.
Seriously. I mean, I come in here and I am of the sort that gets overwhelmed because I'm not a designer. So when I walk in, I'm like, oh, this feels overwhelming. But I've come in here a couple of times and then gotten close up to something, and then it's like you kind of have to take it like piece by piece. Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I mean, I just found a blanket here that is like my I'm Scottish by heritage, so it's our plaid, like our family plaid. I was like, I didn't see that the last time I was in here.
And it probably has been here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So it is like a treasure hunt.
Yes. And speaking of treasure hunts, so we talked about how you decide what you're going to bring in, but where do you go? Do you go to existing antique shops and pick from there, or how do you find your special Urban Redeux treasures?
Well, to answer the question first, or the second question, I don't hit antique shops as a general rule to source for my shop.
Okay.
For multiple reasons. One, they've already been sourced, all of those items. And the part of that's the most fun for me is going and digging and finding the treasure. So that's my dopamine fix. So if someone's already found it, they're just showcasing it to me, and it's also what they wanted to collect. So every now and then, if I'm looking for something for my personal home, I absolutely will hit all. I mean, I'll never turn down an antique shop, that's for sure. But generally, that's not where I'm sourcing for the shop.
Okay.
I will be very vague on my answers for this because
she
I
doesn't
won't
wanna
tell my
give
secrets.
away. I
But
didn't think about that.
I am not afraid to dumpster dive. I've stopped on the side of the road and thrown my children out to go get that thing. Auctions, antiques, yard sale, thrift shops. I mean, all the places I'm digging through to find the pieces to bring in here.
And are they in mint condition, or do you like rehab stuff and refinish stuff too?
Sometimes I will rehab. Okay. A lot of things will need cleaning. I mean, sometimes I bring it in, and you would never believe the effects that nicotine has on pieces. So a lot of times it's cleaning smoke and years of just having it been left behind or left aside. So a lot of it's cleaned. I don't do any rehab because if I were to paint something blue, you'll want it red. If I paint it white, you want it yellow. So I try to just move it quickly and price it so that it's priced so that you can do it yourself if you want to paint something. I will reupholster with a staple gun. That's about the extent of my reupholster, and I can do some
for other people's vision as well.
Yes. Yes, because I don't want to, I want to present it to you in a way that you can be inspired and say, oh, I could do this. But I also want people to be able to kind of dig through and find treasures here as well. So I don't want everything to be perfectly and pristine. I want you to be able to say, oh, I could turn this into something else if I use it that way.
So one of the things I love about following you, which I do on Instagram.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. As everyone should.
Thank you so much.
But your Instagram handle is?
It's at Urban Redeux.
And while you're there, it's at WeStatPod. Anyway.
And Redeux is spelled?
Redeux. Naming a shop is harder than naming a child.
Yeah.
So that was a process as well.
I totally get that.
I get that too, because with a child you can have lots of like little nicknames if you're not really feeling.
And you're not trying to make money on your child, probably.
Right.
I mean, I hope not anyway.
Some people are, but no one we know.
No one we know.
No. Okay.
So you also are like an expert hack of how to clean and make something. So make something feel like new. So if someone were to come in and you haven't rehabbed it, you have picked up through the years and the self-taught and self-mistake situation.
Yes.
For instance, it's not these glasses, but you have a Dorothy, the silver glasses
the Dorothy Thorpe glasses,
yes,
the sterling top glasses.
Yes, that you went through trial and error on cleaning those.
Yep.
And what was the final go-to product?
You'll have to go back to my Instagram for that. Go through my reels and let's figure it out.
I think.
It was toothpaste.
It was toothpaste.
Yes, it was toothpaste.
It was toothpaste.
Oh, see, you can tell where this is off the cuff here because
it was.
Sometimes I don't remember what I did. And I have to go back and remember and like, oh, what did I do for that? But yes, toothpaste is wonderful to clean your Dorothy Thorpe glasses because it's just abrasive enough to get that sterling. Thank you for the reminder. Thank
That's
you
what
for
I'm
the
here
reminder.
for. That's what I'm here for, to help.
You did the research.
But yes, I do. Sometimes I would be hesitant to call me an expert in anything. I feel like I'm the jack of all trades, sort of master of none. I do enough research to figure out and kind of go down the rabbit hole of a particular item when that's the item I'm interested in, and then, then I leave that and go over here and play with furniture for a little while, and then I'll come back to glassware, Pyrex, and so it's just whatever I'm interested in. But I have done caning, which I'm currently doing now on Instagram. You'll enjoy that. But yes, I make mistakes. I just made a huge mistake there.
The caning of chairs?
Yes, I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
You can follow along that progress as well.
Cool.
So that's the about lots of cleaning and a little bit of rehab.
Okay.
And just a lot of imagination and vision.
Vision,
yes.
Vision, for sure. So I have a question about the customer that's going to come in. If I am looking for my $1 million treasure that I'm going to go on to Antiques Roadshow and they're going to tell me it's worth millions and millions of dollars, am I coming into your store, or what does your customer look like?
Well, you might, if I haven't done my research well, then you may find something that's going to put you in that catalog. But hopefully I would have found that first.
Yeah.
And then we close the store down and I go and live a rich and famous lifestyle.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother show.
Start your own Antiques Roadshow.
Yes, that's something different. Well, when I'm sourcing things for the shop, it has to be something that I think is interesting. That's the number one.
Okay.
Has to be. It doesn't matter if I don't like it. It doesn't come in one. No way.
Even if it has like zero, like monetary value to it, technically.
Yes.
It's the interest level.
It's the interest level, 100%.
I love that you can completely inventory out your shop with things that you just find interesting.
Only things that I love and interesting.
That is
Yep.
a dream.
Yes, that's the minimum, right? So if I don't even like it,
It's not coming in,
regardless of if it has a high resale value.
So if something is high resale value, but boring, we will not find it in here.
It's a no-go.
It's a no-go.
It's not even.
I know there's a lot of stuff out there like that.
There is a lot of things like that. And I hope that's what sets our shop apart from other places you may go, because some antique dealers, which I don't really even put myself in that category because I'm not, I don't deal in a lot of antiques, and I don't.
What makes an antique? This is an upsetting number for me. What's the difference between antique and vintage? Because I thought they were really close. Turns out they're not.
They're not. So a true antique is over 100 years old.
Okay.
And I'm looking around. There like, what year does that put us in? 1920. So yes, there are some antiques in here, but most of it is going to be considered vintage, which is like 25 years and over.
Okay.
Like you're vintage.
I am.
We're all vintage.
I'm like 2 times vintage.
I'm almost 2 times vintage. I'm pretty sure the
You're
shoes I have on.
So that makes you really interesting.
And you're all, yes! You're in the shop, so therefore you're interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely, despite the fact that Rachel Peru, who told us we should really invest in good lingerie, there's a chance I have bras at home that are vintage.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Sadly.
true. That's a good point. You can use your
Sadly.
Marie Antoinette coup for that. Okay.
So that's
We
the
digress.
difference. We
Okay,
did. Okay,
so-
that's the difference.
So the ideal customer you're looking for is someone who is looking to adorn their space with interesting things.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. I'm here to provide all the interests.
So like
and
a lot
things.
of statement pieces. So,
like some statements, but also, the barware, and as we're getting out of, when we weren't quite entertaining
Because of the pandemic.
but now, so people were at home and you can't go out, so I found that a lot of my customers were purchasing barware. I don't want to say what the correlation is between barware and the pandemic, but it's nice to...
a pretty strong correlation there, but yeah.
I would say, regardless of the fact that this is empty, if you are stuck at home for a long period of time, sometimes you might, I could even put seltzer in here and feel better about just my circumstance. I think barware is one of the underrated self-care items, because I think just the fanciness of the glass that you're holding can just, it's a mood lifter.
Yes, they're all beautiful. And when it comes to setting your table and just having different colors and textures and something different on your table, I also think that my customer enjoys having a home that will stand out from being decorated with a box in a box store.
Yeah.
So nothing against any of those, but I think that there is a customer who
we do love a good home
yes,
goods.
we do. I love home goods,
But
now I shop here instead.
Yeah. So can we like browse around a little bit?
Yeah,
Can you
absolutely.
wanna take us to some of your most interesting favorite pieces?
I know. I
So
feel
hard.
like asking you to pick a favorite would be like asking you to pick a favorite Jess.
I mean, it's clearly Jess is my favorite.
Jess is your
Good
favorite.
answer.
That was a great answer.
I mean, do you feel
But-
a little bit sad when things?
Yes,
know.
I feel sad when things leave. Sometimes
Yeah.
I have a number of I shouldn't say I have a number. I have like 2 regrets of selling things, and it
Because
is
you
what
wish
it
you
is.
had
I
taken
wish
them
I
home?
kept it from my own house. But you know what? There will always. But the motto in this world is like there will always be another. There will always be something else to come in. Even if you miss out on the estate sale or you miss out on the thing or the auction, you cannot have any heartstrings attached to it because there will be another one coming the next day that you
right.
can search
Okay,
around
well,
for.
take us to some of your favorite pieces.
Okay, let's take a walk. So if you have been to our store before in the past couple of years, you have noticed this is my silent partner. Her name is Vivian.
She's not always silent. On Instagram, she talks
On Monday
a lot.
she talks. On Monday she talks. She just tell you a little bit about my background upbringing. She sat outside of my bedroom door for my entire life.
Oh my
On a little
God.
chair, and so to me, she's just part of the
I
family.
did not know that. I mean,
Yes.
do you want to give us a little more information about that? Because was she missing a hand? then? No.
She did miss a hand, which
Yeah.
made an appearance during the Shining showing at our home, which may have resulted in a chipped tooth. I can't say for sure. But she's been around forever. My father is a historic contractor and would often bring interesting salvage pieces, and we have 2 of these mannequins at home, and she came back to live with me last year. She's been through the ringer, and she's had a small head injury.
Oh,
but,
God.
that's why she's wearing her scarf now.
Yes. Okay.
Well, scarves are very in
understandable.
right now.
Yes,
So
yes.
she's one of my faves. She will always be here. She may scare you, but she's harmless.
I have heard she does scare some people.
Many
However, I do love what she's wearing and what she's sitting on.
Yeah, I do love that chair.
Come back and see the chair when she decides to move. So this is Vivian. She's the staple here. In
And
the
she
shop.
is not
She's
for
not for
sale.
She's not for sale.
No.
She's not for sale. Nope, not even for $1 million. She's not for sale.
Okay, so what are some of your favorite pieces?
Currently, this is my favorite art that just brought her in last week. But this
agree.
is
I see
Evelyn. I just think she's beautiful.
She
I
is.
think she's probably from, if I had to guess, the 1920s, just based on sort of her hairdo and her outfit.
Love the dress. Love the color.
But she's beautiful, and one of the things I love to do is kind of create a story behind many of the portraits that we've had here in the shop, and kind of decide what kind of life they led. And she'll be very interesting to figure out where she's from.
I feel like you need to have like a sofa table book or something.
I do
Like
too.
with all your favorite pieces
That would
and then
be
the
fun.
stories that you create.
Yes.
We can workshop that later.
On a dresser that I sold yesterday, inside the dresser was an original photograph of the owner as a 3-year-old boy, and it was black and white, so that went home with the new owner of the dresser.
Oh, wow.
So if there's keepsakes that come in a piece, I will generally share that with the customer, and then they can have that back.
Oh, fun.
That's really
That's
nice.
so awesome.
So we move into barware,
Oh,
which is always
this is my
fun.
favorite.
So what do you call these?
Those would be I would call them like a shooter glass.
Okay. And what would you put in these? Like just a shot of something? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Okay.
you could do like a little,
mixed cocktail.
or you could do like a little Grand Marnier, or like a cordial, maybe
Okay.
more of a
You
sipping
could,
liqueur.
yes. If you poured it into your, if you mix it up first in your.
My only concern is if I mixed up a cocktail in here, how many times would I have to refill that?
I mean,
little
but this
shooter?
is like one cocktail in here.
I mean, for some people,
I mean, let's be honest.
more coops.
Sizes
More
have gotten
coops.
bigger.
This is another one of my favorites. This
That's
is an
so
antique
cool.
sewing cabinet that someone has adorned with a beautiful peacock. It opens up to have a spot for all of your spools of thread and little drawers for all of your sewing notions. So this, I think, when I purchased this, I don't envision someone using it as a sewing cabinet, though they could. What my immediate thought was when I saw this would be that it would be beautiful in front of a fireplace. Okay. So as a like updated fire screen situation, even like maybe through summertime.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
So that's just an idea of how I see things when I bring them in, and what I want it to be used for in someone else's house.
What about the needle points that are featured behind this cabinet? I always find it fascinating, the crafts that grab your eye and that make it into this store.
And sometimes those can be kind of kitschy, but these are all, this is such a range of needlework. This is a beautiful woman on a chaise, probably done on a silk. This is obviously needlework done with like more of a yarn and kind of the psychedelics. This one I picked up because it's blue and white, which will always be on trend. And then sometimes I just like it because, again, this is definitely in the style of grand millennials who are having a lot of these chinoiserie and brights and florals. So that's sort of how I picked them up. But needlepoint's very on trend right now, and they're a great way to mix into like a gallery wall as well.
Okay.
I just find it interesting because talk about stories behind pieces. I could really go into deep backstory on someone's grandma. I can't even imagine where your mind goes on some of the more clearly handmade items.
Oh, sure. And I'll show you, if you want to follow me over here, I'll show you a tablecloth that is fairly new, and the amount of needlework and handwork on it is,
oh my goodness,
incredible.
Holy!
And that's not has that been done by hand or machine?
This is all hand done.
That is amazing.
So if you turn it over on the inside, you'll be able to see the stitches from it. So this is someone's handiwork that's done on this beautiful linen.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so when I see this, I can price it as what I think will sell, but really, I mean, you can't even.
It's priceless.
It's an absolutely stunning piece, and the amount of time and effort that someone put into these, for me, is also about making sure it doesn't get put in a landfill, because the work on it is just incredible.
Well, and I mean, for something like that, how do you envision that being used? Like somebody putting it on a table, or
Absolutely.
Not like hanging it necessarily on a wall or something. Or
well, you could do that as well, but
okay.
I definitely see this on maybe you could layering on top of a tablecloth. But definitely using things. I'm not. I appreciate function just as much as I do the design. So I envision everything in here to be used, whether it, if it's functional, to be a useful thing, right?
Yeah. Right. When you just mentioned the landfill aspect, how much of your passion is the whole green recycling? You want to save stuff from just piling up out in our landfills, or is it more just the sweet stories you don't want piling up in the...
To be honest with you, I think my focus has really shifted since I've opened. Initially, the very first day I had the idea for saving something, I was at a yard sale or an estate sale, and someone was basically going to give me a set of these beautiful twin beds. I didn't need them at the time, so I didn't take them, because she just, didn't have anything to do with them. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I need to take these so that I can then just give them a life to someone else. So they don't end up in the trash. Mm-hmm. And that was a couple years before. That was probably like 2015. So I had the thought of that. But I will say that now that I'm in the business of finding things and living a more sustainable lifestyle here, it's carried over much more into my personal life. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, if you do follow us on Instagram, you'll see that my husband and I just took apart our washing machine.
I mean, the amount, I would just, as an aside, the amount of work, effort, hours, that is a project I would have thrown money at, and yet you have a practically brand new washing machine.
We do. It works wonderfully, and we were able to do it. But I think that was after seeing what it would cost to get the new washer, the wait times, and I'll go into that more in a second as well. But the just in COVID, everything's backed up. We thought, well, we could probably fix this ourselves and save this from a landfill and save us some money in the meantime. So I think that in that way, it's carried over into my personal life. And as an aside, I buy almost nothing new now. Mm-hmm. Nothing. If I can't find it at the thrift store, a yard sale, we're not huge consumable Amazon people,
Right.
As we used to be.
So, but here's my thing, right? Like all that takes time.
Yes, that's why I do it for you.
Yeah.
Yay!
Exactly. And that's my point, right? As
Yeah.
someone who feels like short on time a lot, and as one who is a regular user of Amazon, I feel like that's a really important point to highlight, is that you have already done all the sourcing. Like I'm not going to go to antique
Sure.
or like estate sales. Like
Yep.
I see them and it triggers me from my childhood or something, because my mom never met a yard sale she didn't love, right? And I spent hours sitting out in the car waiting for her. But like I can come in here, and I also thinking about like gifts, like meaningful
Absolutely. Yep.
gifts, you know, like my girlfriends, their birthdays, like the barware, like super cool stuff, you know? And you're saving us time, and you're saving things from going into the landfill.
Exactly. And
So-
hopefully I'm picking up things that you'll be able to say, oh, my girlfriend would love this.
Yes.
Or my, you know, even my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's the saving it, but it's also, like you said, bringing new things in
Yeah.
and wanting to teeter the line of on trend, but also reusing and reducing. So I try to make it meet in the middle.
So what if I have an idea of something that I really want on my mantle or on a side table? Can I come in here, and if I look around and it's not here, could you work on sourcing that for me?
100%.
Okay.
Yes. And I do that for people. Sometimes it takes us to create a relationship, so I can get to know like what your style is
Yeah.
and what you're looking for. I have a number of customers, when I see things out, I already know that she's going to love it.
Okay.
So that happens just after a while of you showing me pictures of your home, and you're saying, I'm looking for something for this space. But I really think that when you're shopping in places like my store, no matter where you are, meeting the shopkeeper, learning what their style is, and sharing what you're looking for just allows me to be able to go out and say, okay, well, you know, Jess, either one of you, says she's into this, and I bet she would like this if I know she's looking for something in particular. And, you know, full disclosure, I am not afraid of losing business by saying, if I'm out in a estate sale or somewhere and there's a beautiful piece of furniture, but it's priced above me being able to resell, but I know you're looking for one, I will call you and say, you should go look at this. It cuts me out, but it's good customer service,
Right.
and in the long run will come back.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just as exciting putting something in your hands in your home that I know you'll be excited about, whether or not I make $1 off of it or not.
That's what I love about the support that the Zebra gives to shopping local, and how important it is to, although the convenience of the box stores is nice, and we appreciate you, it's the relationships that you make to be able to then find just the right thing. And yeah, it might take a little bit of extra time, but it's worth it. Well, Willow, thank you so much for inviting us in. And we're just really glad to have you in the neighborhood. I especially, because it's a little bit more convenient for me personally.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, giving us just the opportunity to share the story, and really the shopping center has been so welcoming. Everyone has been so friendly and nice, and I couldn't have asked for a warmer welcome to be in the Hollin Hall area. Our address is 7916 Fort Hunt Road. We're located in the Hollin Hall Shopping Center. We are on the back side. You will not see us from the street level. So we are located behind 7-Eleven and underneath the delicious Hollin Hall pastry shop.
Yes.
And there's plenty of parking outside. We're open 11 to 4 Wednesday through Saturday. And you can find me at Urban Redeux on Instagram, Facebook, and that's also our website.
And I highly recommend everyone following her on Instagram, because it's a journey. You really go on a journey with Willow through her stories and reels.
And the multi-uses of toothpaste.
That's right.
Well, that was fun.
It was. And I even got another viewer here with me.
Hi, Ebba.
Hi.
So
I
look,
love
I'm
her
practicing.
everything she promotes.
I'm practicing what I preach and drinking my Trader Joe's sparkling water out of a fancy barware.
Super fancy.
I'm telling you,
Is that
that's
not a coupe, right?
This is not a coupe. This is
Okay.
I don't know what this is, but it's not a coupe.
I'm learning so much.
I know. Stick with me, kid.
I
I
know.
want all of that barware. And I already saw her posting on Instagram today, and there's already a bunch of new stuff up on the windows. So, like, it's just a magical place to go into. Even if you don't walk out with something, you always walk out inspired for sure.
Right. I can't wait for the Christmas displays. I
Yeah,
think
that will
that's
be
really
fun.
in the spirit. I
She
feel like
just
we need to host some sort of live podcast party. Are we boring you?
Are we boring you, Abba?
Anyway, it's exciting. I'm so excited that she's in our neck of the woods and I can go shopping. I can stop for a pastry and a coffee and then get my other stuff at the variety store all in one
Yeah.
fell swoop.
I will say something I couldn't help but notice while I was rewatching that lovely, lovely interview is I have never felt shorter than hanging out with you and Willow. I mean,
And
what?
I don't think I've ever felt bigger. Like I say I'm a substantially sized person, but I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure my legs reach your shoulders.
I mean, Rob saw those pictures and was like, is she standing on something? What's happening? I'm like, no, that's just what happens. That's just my size.
I love it so much.
All right. Well, next month we will be back. We are not taking another extended holiday. We are going to be featuring the Alexandria Nutcracker, the community Nutcracker performance. We are super excited to get some behind the scenes and talk to some of the dancers. It's a great community event, and I'm sure it will help get us all in the mood for, I can't believe I'm saying this, the upcoming holidays.
I know. I definitely think after the last couple of years we've had, it's going to be a very welcome a show. It's going to be a very welcome interview. I think I know one ballerina that's going to want to come with me.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. So as always, we want to thank the Zebra for doing this event with us, for supporting our podcast and allowing us the platform to be able to share with the local community. If you want to catch the good news vibe that the Zebra always provides, you can go to thezebra.org and subscribe, and it will get delivered immediately to your inbox anytime there's good news to share. And from Jess and I and Ebba, we encourage you all to be the good news in someone's life.